A very warm and a good morning to our dignitaries, guests, members, and all the wonderful people in the room. Welcome to the third Rail Forum, the Future Express, presented by the Indian Chamber of Commerce. I am Nidhi Burman, Senior Assistant Director, ICC, and it is my absolute privilege to be your host today. Today, we bring together pioneering leaders shaping the future of sustainable mobility. As India accelerates towards its net zero ambition, the railway stands tall with the lifeline of a greener tomorrow. As we celebrate innovation, sustainability, and the incredible power of railways, because in a country as vibrant as ours, trains don't just run. They connect, empower, and occasionally teach us patience. But this morning, we promise only speed, insights, and inspirations. With that intent, we now proceed with our inaugural session. It is my privilege to welcome a series of distinguished speakers who are steering operational and infrastructural excellence in Indian Railway. Kindly join me in welcoming them on the dais with a round of applause. Mr. Milind Deoskar, General Manager, Eastern Railway, a seasoned railway official known for steering operational efficiency, regional network, modernization, and strengthening connectivity across Eastern India. Sir, please, may I request you on the dais. Mr. Ratendra Ramar, IRTS Chairman, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust, an expert in logistics and multimodal connectivity, vital for seamless integration between ports and rail corridors and enhancing India's trade infrastructure. Sir, please. Mr. Vikas Lohia, Chairman, ICC National Expert Committee, Railway and Deputy Managing Director, Jupiter Wagons Limited, a visionary in railway manufacturing and freight solutions. Sir, please. We were expecting General Manager from Metro and Southeastern Railway as well, along with us in this dais, but unfortunately, due to the domestic airport meltdown that we all faced last evening, unfortunately, they could not be here, but they have sent their best wishes for the forum. So basically, we would, just start with the inaugural session. To mark the auspicious commencement of this milestone event, we will begin with the ceremonial lighting of the lamp. I would now request all the esteemed dignitaries on the dais to kindly join us for the special moment. Sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we move into our formal discussion, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to share a special message from one of our foremost visionaries leading India's railway transformation, Mr. Satish Kumar, Chairman and CEO, Railway Board. He could not join us in person due to the ongoing Parliament session, but he has sent his valuable reflections exclusively for this forum. Let us play the awaited video message for the day, please.
Good morning. I extend my warm congratulations to the ICC as it nears its remarkable centenary milestone. For almost a century, ICC has been catalyst for India's industrial growth, innovations and nations building. And the Third Rail Forum stands as a strong testament to its continuous commitment to advancing critical sectors such as railways. This year's theme, The Future Express, Greening the Rails and Powering the Nations, perfectly aligns with India's bold transformation toward a sustainable and energy-efficient future. Railways have always been the lifeline of our nation. Today, as India accelerates its clean energy transition, and commits to net zero by 2070, the Indian Railways is leading the charge. Under the dynamic leadership and guidance of Honorable PM and our Honorable MR, Railways is making the leap growth in reduction of carbon emission. Railway Board, as the apex administrative and executive authority of Indian Railways, plays a critical role in this transformation, shaping nation's strategy, driving modernization, guiding financial and administrative decisions, and supervising construction, expansion, and maintenance across one of the world's largest transport network. It serves as a key decision-making body for major projects and reforms that will define the future of India's rail ecosystem. Our commitment to achieving net zero carbon emission by 2030 is among the most ambitious green mission globally. I am happy to announce that we will be, by the December 2025, net zero carbon scope 1. We are now the largest electrified railway network in the world, with a complete transition of the broad gauge network to the electric traction. From regenerative braking to the renewable energy procurement and the rooftop solar across stations, we are ensuring that every mile we run takes India closer to the cleaner future. Initiatives such as dedicated freight corridors, multimodal logistics, integration under Gati Shakti, and innovative freight infrastructure are strengthening India's economic competitiveness while reducing emission and transportation of the goods on rails. At the same time, stations are transforming into the smart, green and inclusive hub with energy efficient designs, waste to energy systems, EV charging, better passenger amenities. Our shift toward next generation rolling stocks, Vande Bharat, hydrogen propulsion, lightweight material is redefining mobility with sustainability, comfort and the safety at the core. Indigenous technologies like Kavach are further enhancing safety across our network. Such progress is possible because of strong collaboration with industry, innovators, global partners, and institutions like ICC. Forums like this allow us to co-create, benchmark global best practices, and align investment and policy frameworks to deliver results faster. I wish all the participants fruitful deliberation. The insight and the partnership forged here will accelerate India's journey toward leading green railway network. Thank you.
Well, that was quite motivating to set the tone for the day and the conversations ahead. We are extremely grateful to him for sharing his best wishes for this forum. To officially set the tone for the day and further align us with the same vision, may I now invite Mr. Vikas Lohia, Chairman, ICC National Expert Committee on Railway and Deputy Managing Director, Jupiter Wagons Limited, for the welcome and theme address. Sir, please.
Good morning. It is my honor to welcome all of you to the third Rail Forum, the third edition of this prestigious flagship initiative by the Indian Chamber of Commerce. This year's theme, Greening the Rails and Powering the Nation, could not be more timely. We gather at a pivotal moment in India's rail evolution, where modernization and sustainability together defined a new direction for national development. At the outset, I extend a warm welcome to all our esteemed dignitaries. We are privileged to have them with us, and we eagerly look forward to benefiting from their insights and expertise throughout today's session. As we all recognize, where rails reach, commerce follows. And when our rails run clean, prosperity endures. This thoughtfully captures the indispensable role of Indian Railways in driving national progress. With a vast network spanning tens of thousands of kilometers and carrying the lion's share of India's long-distance freight and passenger movement, even the slightest advancement in efficiency, safety, or sustainability translates into a significant national impact. Today, the achievements of Indian Railways stand as a testament to effective policy and sustained execution. As of March 2025, approximately 68,000 kilometers or 98% of the broad gauge network has been electrified, as was mentioned by the Honorable Chairman. In 2024 alone, the network saw major upgrades, with 6,500 kilometers of track renewals, 8,500 turnout renewals, and the commission of over 2,000 kilometers of track capable of supporting speeds up to 130 kilometers per hour. Recognizing its deep responsibility, Indian Railways has committed itself to hold environmental ambition, aiming to become a net zero carbon emitter by 2030 for Scope 1 emissions. This includes continued electrification, aggressive expansion of renewable energy, both solar and wind, and adoption of alternative fuels, including hydrogen, wherever viable. By early 2025, more than 209 megawatt of solar capacity had already been commissioned, alongside expanding wind installation, a clear demonstration of its focus on decarbonizing non-traction energy use. Friends, around the world, rail networks are embracing a multi-pronged transformation, combining renewable energy, alternative traction technologies, and smart operational practices to create cleaner, more efficient rail systems. For instance, the Netherlands runs its entire electric train service on 100% wind-derived electricity. While in Japan, battery electric trains are replacing diesel on non-electrified routes. I think India can adopt similar practices which would dramatically reduce carbon emissions and position Indian Railways as a global benchmark for sustainable and smart mobility. A major pillar of this transition is the surge in green freight. Shifting cargo movement from road to rail reduce both emissions and logistics costs. Friends, today India's logistic cost is around 15% of GDP, and the aim of the government is to bring it down to 7 to 8%. So railway plays a very important part in that. Rail continues to offer one of the lowest carbon footprints per ton kilometer in land transport. Maximizing electrified freight corridors, improving loading efficiency, cutting empty runs, and transitioning traction to renewable energy will significantly deepen this advantage. For a rapidly growing India, increasing rail's modal share is now not just a strategic choice, but an economic and environmental necessity, positioning green freight to a critical backbone of a low-carbon supply chain. Looking ahead, the roadmap for the rail sector up to 2030 and beyond is both ambitious and achievable. Energy-efficient technologies will further reduce the energy consumption per train kilometer, ensuring that capacity expansion does not come at the cost of emissions. Over the next 5 years, as electrification becomes universal and renewable procurement scales, railway can emerge as a net positive transportation backbone. Thus, at this forum, we must treat greening not as a niche agenda, but as central to what modern railways should represent: resilience, efficiency, affordability, and environmental responsibility. As we deliberate, I call upon all stakeholders to craft actionable, time-bound pathways that accelerate the green transition of Indian Railways. Think boldly, collaborate ambitiously, prioritize pragmatism, and leave here with at least one actionable commitment, whether a project, a partnership, or a policy proposal. Thank you once again for joining us, and I wish this conference a huge success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for setting the momentum for the day. We will now invite Mr. Milind Deoskar, General Manager, Eastern Railway, to deliver the keynote address and provide insights into the role of Eastern Railway in driving this transformation. Sir, please.
dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Earlier the topic was greening the railways, but suddenly you have changed the pitch to the Eastern Railway. Yeah, that's true, but I will like to start with the notion of nation first, citizen first, and we need to reduce the logistic cost. So let us not start straight away with the railways. There may be smarter ways of transporting material. Like iron ore, we are transporting around 200 million tons. I remember that when I worked in East Coast Railway, that KK line was some 400-kilometer line, and through treacherous terrain we are carrying iron ore in a very difficult circumstances. But there can be simpler solutions to this pipeline, transporting iron ore through pipeline. And there are certain smarter ways to, you can say, first of all, reduce the requirement of coal transportation by locating the power plant suitably at the pit head or near the mining areas. Certain new disruptive technologies like coal gasification is also coming up. So we need to reduce the logistic cost, as our previous speaker has said. I searched, there was a feeling that it is 13 to 14%, but somewhere I read that it has already reduced to 8% of the GDP. And maybe there is a scope for another 2 to 3% very easily. And first we have addressed what we need to transport. Then of course, railway is a very efficient way of transporting. I just saw that maybe a mail express train, it consumes rupees 20 per 20 units per kilometer. So if our cost of electricity is say 6 rupees, I will just round off, maybe 100 rupees per kilometer, and we are carrying maybe 2000 persons. So the cost to carry a passenger or cost to carry, you can say, ton-kilometer costs are very economical, and railways can certainly play a big role in transporting. And especially my experience has said that if the lead is around 500 to 600 kilometers, then the rail transportation is quite economical, considering the multiple handling involved in the railway working. So we really need to look into the transportation happening by road, which is more than 500 kilometers. Our country is quite large, maybe 3,000 kilometers north to south, or 3,500 kilometers, 3,000 kilometers east to west. So railways can play a big role. And I am seeing that the product mix is changing. Earlier there was a lot of food grain transportation taking place, but now I will say that some green revolution has taken place, and a lot of areas are becoming self-sufficient. So the food grain transportation has reduced to a large extent. Still, railway is carrying around 1500 to 1700 million ton, and we aim to increase our tonnage further. And as you are all aware that we have electrified to a large extent, 99% electrification has already taken place. Definitely we need, now overhead equipment has become a challenge. Earlier there used to be track failures, now there are OHE failures. there are power supply failures. So industry needs to come up with smart solutions, power supply equipments, then lighter OHE, 2 into 25 kV OHE is also coming up. So smarter solutions in the overhead equipment and the electrification is the need of the hour. We can't be having too many asset failures which jeopardizes the very initiative of switching to the electric traction. Then we really need to work on, there are locomotive failures. I have seen mid-section failures are, they block the section. So the electric locomotives need to be very, very reliable. And the technologies which we are adopting, I am seeing that the private sector is slightly short-sighted. Some technologies are sold, they are not sustainable, they are not continuously improving, and maybe our policies also need to change, that whatever are the development costs which are incurred by the private players that are once approved, we just give them. Because such technologies are being introduced in the railways where the interfaces are peculiar to that vendor, and the integration and the interoperability, they are the issues which doesn't make railway smarter. We also need to, having electrified, we need to have a very good rolling stock. We need to have MEMUs, multiple units, EMUs. We need to have, you can say, locomotives which can, locotrol systems, where 2 locos, 3 locos, they can just talk to each other, and we are grappling with the problem of stalling of locomotives, especially when the loads increase. There is a stalling on gradients or in bad weather conditions. Then another issue is that we have electrified, but our bulk of the energy which is being produced is not through green technologies. Our electrical energy is thermal based largely. India has got big goals. Solar energy is good, but the cost of you can say storing the solar energy, cost of evacuation of the solar energy, they are the challenges. I think that these battery management systems, battery storage systems are coming up, but they are maybe 6 to 7 crore per megawatt. So the best solution is that we need to have a solar energy generation where we are able to convert it into single phase and feed into our traction subsystems. We have got a lot of lake bodies and water bodies, and some areas along the track. Even in BLW, between the tracks, solar panels have been installed, and they can be a game changer, provided whatever solar power which we are generating is fed into the TSS or our SP, SSP in a single phase. So we need to work on it. Now Government of India is coming up with a policy change that private players are being allowed to generate nuclear power. As small module reactors are may come up, and we may have a nuclear energy that will be certainly be very, very green. All these will require a lot of technologies, lot of integration. So these are the areas where the industry can work on it. We need to, we did the electrification quite quickly, but some of the electric locomotives, maybe for shunting purposes, we need to manufacture. We are still using largely the diesel engines for the shunting. A lot of metro technologies or metro is coming up in all the cities. There, I still remember that when I was in Konkan Railway, that Skybus was one very smart technology, and Konkan Railway developed 1.6 kilometer of test track. Unfortunately, that technology was not fully tried out. My managing director, Dr. Rajaram, took lot of initiative, and the technology was phenomenal in the sense that on the divider of the road, we create pillars. There will be a box type structure in which the bogies will be moving, and the coach portion, the upper body of the coach will be suspended from the bogie. There will, and on the top of that box, you can have a road also. So the capacity was 50,000 passengers per hour per direction, and it could have been a game changer. And the cost was around 50 crore per kilometer. The metro which we are having is easily 300 to 400 crores per kilometer, and in underground it is going up to 1000 crores, 1200 crores. Maybe we can think of, you can say, making a new city instead of working in a congested city. I find that 50,000 or lakhs of crores are being spent to make certain infrastructure come up in a very congested city. We have found that in Gujarat, in 1 lakh crore, 1.5 lakh crore, a new city has come up. So maybe overall perspective, national perspective, we need to see when we approach any solution to a problem. Some green hydrogen technologies are also being worked upon. The green fuel, hydrogen fuel cell. The challenge is to have a green energy to produce a green hydrogen, and the transportation of the hydrogen. But on certain circuits where the electrification has not been done, that can be a good solution, and industry can work on this hydrogen fuel cell technologies also. We really need to work on energy efficient rolling stock. I remember that in Konkan Railway, this roll-on, roll-off is since 1998. Konkan Railway is operating, and it's quite popular, but it could not proliferate on Indian railways because Konkan Railway is ultimately very small railway. So if couple of trucks can come on one wagon, and maybe in hardy terrains where the like ghat sections, if instead of plying the trucks, they can ride back on our trains which are safe. It will be a very good way. I think some initiatives are being taken in this regard on the railways also. We need to work on customizing the rolling stock containers based on the needs of the industry. Say to carry transportation, to transport cement, to transport fly ash, we need to customize the rolling stock. Automobile as a new segment where instead of sending the vehicle in far-flung areas through road or driving, now around 25% of the automobiles are moving through rail. This should go up, because there the railway has got a definite advantage. Of course, our infrastructure is growing by leaps and bounds. it is double line. Wherever there is a single line, doubling projects have been sanctioned. Triple line, 4 line. In Eastern Railway is a blessed railway where we have got even 5 lines from Howrah, starting Howrah. We have got 5 lines. So definitely more lines from single line to double line. Definitely the capacity goes up by say 4 times or 5 times also with suitable signaling technology. However, when we make it to third line, then where the third line comes? When we make it to fourth line, then how do we cross the 4 lines? And for that, if the suitable bypasses are not planned, then the 4 lines are not that effective as we have seen from single line to double line. So Eastern Railway is adding up the infrastructure, and I will say that Eastern Railway, the way the works have been sanctioned in the recent past, and Eastern Railway is working on those works like Andal bypass, Sitarampur bypass, Jasidi bypass, all the bypasses which will avoid the necessity to cross the tracks, and this will quadruple the capacity of Eastern Railway. So definitely we need support of industry to have a smarter bridge construction, quicker bridge construction. We have got thousands and thousands of bridges, small, big, steel bridges, PSC bridges, composite bridges. We really need to have smarter instrumentation, you can say technology, to inspect the bridges very effectively and efficiently. We need a very, very effective signaling system, and Kavach has come up, as our CRB has also said. But the real game changer will be the moving block system, where the headway between the two trains can be automatically be controlled, and this will increase the throughput. I have seen that the signaling system increases the capacity of increases our throughput drastically, and whenever there is a signaling failure and we have to work in a non-interlocked way, then the capacity drastically goes down. So that is the importance of the signaling system. If we are able to develop a moving block system, this will, without adding more tracks, we can increase the throughput by at least 2 times. There are EI systems, electronic interlocking systems, which are also, you can say, OEM dependent, and but the safety is ensured through the logic. And I will say that almost railway is carrying 700 crore passengers per year. As a matter of fact, Eastern Railway is also carrying around 35 to 40 lakh passengers per day. So instead of freight, we should also look into a human being who gets carried in a very safe way. Every time we read in the newspaper, there are multiple road accidents, and somewhere I read that there are 20 deaths on road per hour or per minute. So definitely we need to focus on the passenger segment also. And I feel that any distance more than 150 kilometers is conducive for the passenger. Only thing is that we need to cut down on the time. We need to at least say 700 kilometer distance we should be able to knock off in say 5 hours. Thereby the charm of the public, everybody wants to live in the same city. But if we provide a quicker transportation, 4 to 5 hours, maybe there will be a satellite cities, people coming to the business district areas, and too much of money which is being spent in infrastructure development of already congested city will be reduced. As a matter of fact, whenever we sanction some infrastructure work, at least couple of years people spend time in accommodation works, that breaking this infrastructure, breaking that infrastructure which has been recently constructed. So we need to really have a master plan. Railways is now definitely working on a master plan where all the energy routes are being mapped, proper transportation strategy, multimodal options are also being considered. So all the projects which are now coming up, railways are developing in India in a very, very holistic way. And I exhort all the industry, please understand the railways, introduce technology in railways in a very responsible way. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to introduce something, because we have seen four-wheeler wagons being introduced in railways in a hurry, and then there were so many derailments that later on we had to shift to eight-wheeler wagons. Same I have seen in many areas where industry have been pursuing with the concerned railway officials. So there is a responsibility at our end also, and there is a responsibility at your end. Unless you are fully satisfied, you are also citizen of the country. You kindly understand the railways, kindly give a solution when you have fully convinced yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. That was quite an insightful deliberation from your end. We are really grateful for that. Now, we would finally invite Mr. Ratendra Raman, IRTS Chairman Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Port Trust, to share his perspectives with us. Sir, please.
A very good morning to all of you. Respected GM Eastern Railway, Milind Devkar sir, Mr. Vikas Lohia, and all the august gathering that has gathered here, ladies and gentlemen. It is really an honor to be here in the Rail India Forum as we gather under the theme, The Future Express, Greening the Rails, Powering the Nation. This theme captures both our aspiration and our responsibility to redesign India's logistic, which is not only modern and efficient, but also sustainable, resilient, and aligned with our goal. And I have been immensely fortunate to have been part of both the pillars of this country's logistic, that is railways as well as port, the two arteries that keep our nation's trade and economy flowing. And let me bring some outsider perspective to this forum, as I have worked in railways, but presently working outside the railway. As we know, port and railways are natural allies. A port's efficiency is measured not only in how fast the ship makes a turnaround, but also how fast and seamlessly the cargo reaches the hinterland to its customer. As you all know, that Kolkata dock system, I'm not going into detail of our dock system, but at both Kolkata and Haldia, we have a large infrastructure of railways. At Haldia, we have almost 125-kilometer track length, and Kolkata about 20-kilometer track length. And both the systems, Kolkata as well as Haldia, are very well connected to the railway system. As you all of you know, that Kolkata is connected on the Eastern Railway System, and Haldia dock system is on the Southeastern Railway dock system. And the railway connectivity and evacuation is the strength of our port. We have survived for the last 145 years because of this connectivity strength. We are the port who are connected with the road, rail, and inland waterways. And since this is going to be the forum for the green, it is imperative that in order to move towards the greener logistic, there should be a model shift to railways and waterways. Shifting to railway in itself is greening the planet. And let me bring that in the port also, we are doing lots of work with respect to the greening. What we have done, let me bring to your knowledge. At present, we are utilizing the electricity from the generation centers. But come this March 26, at least 25% of our utilization will be from the solar energy. And by 2030, whatever the energy requirement that we have for the Haldia as Kolkata, at least 50% will be from the green energy, that is solar energy. And we have already started moving our equipments on the electric. Mobile harbor crane, we have already got the electric mobile harbor crane. Our trucks, from the diesel, we are moving towards the electric. We have, in the port area, we have started having electric charging stations. So in future, the tractor trailers which are moving on diesels can be converted to electric. Similarly, we are also having our solar power for the vessels. At present, the vessels come and dock on the system, they're utilizing their own diesel power. But we are providing solar electric power, so they can, while berthing, they can utilize the electric. And we are also increasing our green cover. At present, Haldia and Kolkata is almost 40% of the land with the green. That way, actually, we are also increasing the green energy, utilization of green energy. At the same way, we always expect railway to fulfill our need. But from the customer perspective, we always forget we should also rise to the occasion where railway resources are utilized to the full potential and in efficient manner. In that way, sir, we are also modernizing our port, which becomes more efficient and have a better system of working. At present, if you take Haldia, we are taking 12 to 14 hours to load a rake. But come this March, and we are going to have a travel in this month only, where we are going to have a rapid loading system where a rake will be loaded within 2 hours. So this is going to break a change. Similar modernization work we are taking for the unloading also. And at present, whatever the railway rake reaches to the yard of the port, they comes with electric, then the change of the loco from electric to diesel, the entire work within the railway system, railway port system gets operated through diesel. But we have already started work for the entire electrification of the railway yard, where the same work can be continued from the same loco that comes with the railway rake. So there is no detachment of the loco, no utilization of a diesel. So we are working towards the railway resources that are more utilized in an efficient manner. And I expect all the customer, basically all the power sector and steel sector, that we should also think on those lines. Until unless we improve our efficiency, we cannot always expect railway to be efficient. And let me bring to this August gathering. At Haldia and Kolkata, we have 18 sidings, and we have started modernizing our sidings also. And recently, we have floated 2 tenders for the modernization of our siding on a PPP mode. So I expect people who are there, that they can come and participate in a tender where we can, as railways, as all of you know, that they are improving their terminals to the Gati Sakti. We are also have come with the same model. So if you want, who are interested in having a railway sidings, there are 2 sidings, one in Haldia, one in Kolkata, they are on the tender. And sir, we are not only gaining and promoting railways, but also, in order to have a model shift, we are giving incentives so that real shift takes place from the road to railways. We have reduced our haulage charges, stabling charges, terminal charges, so that railway becomes cheaper. That way we are promoting the rail component. And as all of you know who are working this area, between Haldia and Kolkata, we have recently started a port rail link express. And at present, almost 45 rakes in a month are moving between Haldia and Kolkata. And one rake carries 90 containers. So you can visualize how much the load we have taken from the road. But what matters for the trade and the customer is the cost. So for the short distance, I think railway is still a costly affair. So if there is a cost, then the trade looks for an opportunity where it is cheaper. So I would request to look into this aspect, because now the proposal has come from the shipping lines where they want to move this cargo through the waterways. It's good for the country and everybody, sir, but I want that this will contribute the railways. If we get there some concession, this will continue. Otherwise, people will look for an opportunity to the cheaper sources, and from the rail, it will move to the waterways. And we have a challenge with the roadways, especially for the short distance. At a short distance, roadways can give a door-to-door service at a slightly cheaper rate. But when we move towards the multimodal, there's multiple handlings from sea phase to the rail phase to the road phase. And each phase, different agencies are involved. And each agency involves their cost and plus margin. So with the involvement of multiple agencies, the cost increases. But what is requirement for the trade and the customer? That whatever the product that we offer to the trade as a logistic provider, it should be cheap and efficient in terms of cost and time. If we can provide that, the things will start moving to the railways. And same happens for the inland waterways also. In that way, as a port, sir, we are ready to act as a logistic provider. And we had approached railways that ports should also be permitted to have their own wagons, just like the GPWIS, sir. So that way, as a port, we can provide that major customers a one-point service and cover the entire logistics chain. Similar way, sir, for the short distance also, there's lots of opportunities for conversion for the cargo from road to rail, sir. But we need some concession. As you are aware, sir, the terminal has come at Dankuni. There's a railway siding at Durgapur. But still, the containers are moving the roadways either from the Durgapur or from the Dankuni. If we have some policy, some concession extended to the port, sir, I assure you at least we can move 2 rakes on a daily basis from Kolkata to Dankuni. That way, we can reduce the congestion on the road and move towards the greener logistics, sir. But for that, sir, I would request some concessions are required, and let me be excused for this moment. I have brought this knowledge to the authority itself right now. We have never discussed in part, but I thought that this provides me an opportunity where this is a railway conference and where I can bring this issue to the railway authorities and the railway pressure group who can take the matter with the railways and help the actual shift, the green part that we're discussing in this forum. So this way, yes, sir, we can offer a better service to the customer also. And from the port side, sir, we have worked on from bringing cargoes, especially for the Nepal, sir, from the other ports. You can say Vizag and sir, they have moved to the Kolkata and Haldia, sir. But what we are finding, the lots of restrictions for the Nepal, sir. Still, and that is, so some, if we can look into it, sir, so that we will continue to get the traffic to the Nepal on the eastern sector and continue it from the eastern sector to the Nepal. But as we progress, sir, and we increase our productivity, go for the expansion of Kolkata, we need to look at the Dum-Dum also, sir, because that is going to be act as a constraint for the movement of the goods cargo in future. Similarly, in the southeastern railway system, sir, we are trying to get the traffic back to the Haldia, especially for the steel sector who are in around West Bengal and Jharkhand. But there is always a restriction for the steel plants. To some extent, the steel plants are also responsible because we have not modernized the unloading infrastructure at these plants. But for the trade and the customers, what matters, that the rates should be available as per the requirements, sir. So that way, it will help a lot, sir, if we get the rake on demand. In order to cater to all these problems, as a port, and with having a railway background, we are going to have a new infrastructure that is coming at Balagarh, sir. Balagarh is about 85 kilometers upstream from Kolkata. So we are going to develop a terminal at Balagarh which can have a road connectivity, rail connectivity, and connected with the inland waterways, which can take lots of pressure away from the road, from the Kolkata city itself. So we are going to start the work for the terminal very soon. As a port, we are going to invest more than 130 crores for the road and rail over bridge, sir. But and I would request you, sir, if you can take the rail connectivity work from the railway side, it will help the port as well as the city, sir. This way, we can take all this initiative forward, sir. And I thank the entire this conference for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to be here. And I look forward to our continued collaboration to create a stronger, smarter, and more sustainable logistic ecosystem for India. And I hope this conference, and wish this conference to be a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking insights. To extend our gratitude, Mr. Kanish Sethia, Chairman, ICC, National Logistics Supply Chain Committee, Director and CEO, Western Carrier, has sent across his vote of thanks, which I would want to deliver. It is my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of Mr. Kanish Sethia as we conclude the inaugural session of the Third Rail Forum. The third edition reaffirms our shared commitment to advancing the remarkable transformation of Indian Railways and shaping the future of sustainable mobility in India. First and foremost, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks, this is on behalf of Mrs. Sethia, of course, to all our esteemed speakers for sharing their valuable insights and to our sponsors and partners for their steadfast support in bringing the event to life. This year's theme reflects a defining priority of our times, building a transportation ecosystem that remains efficient, inclusive, and deeply rooted in sustainability. For over 170 years, Indian Railways has been far more than mobility platform. It has been a pillar of national development, driving economic expansion and industrial growth along with social integration. From connecting remote geographies to powering key industries that once began with modest foundation, the railway has been instrumental in shaping India's growth story and supporting the aspirations of millions. Today, as India progresses towards a greener and more digitally empowered era, Indian Railways continues to set global benchmarks, whether through becoming the world's largest green railway transformation program, electrifying its vast network at record pace, embracing cutting-edge digital technologies like Kavach, or pioneering sustainability in stations, redevelopment, and multimodal logistics. The world is watching India Railway undergo one of the most ambitious modernization drives in history, and there is much more yet to come. The inaugural session clearly highlighted that this progress is only possible through strong collaboration among policymakers, industry pioneers, and the citizens who power the system every day. Growth must be rooted in shared expertise, collective responsibility, and knowledge-driven reforms, ensuring that the future of Indian Railway truly reflects the ambition of nation determined to move forward sustainably and efficiently. The key recommendation that emerged from the inaugural deliberation underscored three immediate priorities: accelerating technological modernization through indigenous innovation, intensifying the clean energy transition to support India's net zero pathways, with railway already positioned to reduce nearly 15% of national transport emissions, and strengthening logistic integration to boost freight share from the current levels to significantly higher modal contribution. These insights have not only shaped the thematic agenda, but has also reinforced the critical role of strategic policy alignment with public-private collaboration in unlocking the next era of mobility for India. On behalf of Indian Chamber of Commerce, we would like to express deep gratitude again to our distinguished speakers, policymakers, and value stakeholders for their invaluable contribution to this growth story. As we now transition into the upcoming thematic sessions, I'm confident that the insights and discussion ahead will deepen our understanding and drive actionable future strategies for the sector. Thank you so much. Now, we would like to felicitate our distinguished guests here. I would request Mr. Loya to do the honor, please. Milind sir, if you can just step forward, please. Thank you. Ratendra sir. Thank you. And for Vikas sir, if I may do the honor, please. Thank you for the inspiring note. Looks like our engines are officially warmed up for the day. So before we get into the track, let us take a short tea break while we set the stage for the technical sessions ahead. Let us all reconvene in next 10 to 15 minutes, please. Thank you all.